Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to call the regular meeting of Council April 14, 2025. Uh, we have a introduction of late items.
Thank you, Councillor. We have one late item tonight that we're looking to add to the consent agenda, which would be item 5D9. It will be receipt of correspondence for action, and it's a request for a proclamation from the Indo-Canadian Sikh Association of Prince Rupert.
Okay. Next item is approval of agenda. A recommendation that the agenda for the regular council meeting of April 14, 2025 adopted as presented. Need a motion. Moved by Councillor Nish, second by Councillor Cunningham. All in favor? Oppose? Just want let everybody know, like our mayor, he's on city business and attending us remotely. Councillor Reed, Skelter Mormer, Councillor Terry Foster, City Manager Rob Buchan, DCM Richard Pucci, CFO Corinne Bowman, also joining us remotely. Welcome. So, for our public comments regarding agenda items, so at this time we ask any member of the public in the gallery who wish to come forward to speak to any item on the agenda to come forward, please. Okay, seems like nobody want, so we can move to next consent agenda. So first of all is council minutes for approval. Minutes of the regular meeting of March 24, 2025. Minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of March 24, 2025. Minutes of the special meeting of March 24, 2025. Reports for SEPT. Report from the fire chief regarding March 2025 fire rescue report. Correspondence for SEPT North Coast Regional District regarding March 2025 board highlights. Cruise ship industry feedback from the volunteer senior cruise ship ambassador. BC SPCA regarding animal statics report 2024. Letter from the village of Dazing Gates to the liquor and canvas regulation branch regarding canvas taxation, sharing municipal owned canvas retail stores, and correspondence from approval request for proclamation from the Indo-Canadian Sikh Association of Prince Rupert. Recommendation that all items on the consent agenda be approved or received as requested. Moved by Councillor Nish, second by Councillor Eddy. Any discussion? Anybody has any question? Okay, Councillor Cunningham.
On the letter from Julie Warren.
Councillor Cunningham, could you turn your mic on?
Sorry. On the letter from the Senior Ambassador for Tourism, one item that in that letter that I think is to take note of, or two actually, is the bus, a free bus, shopping bus, because the merchants uptown are always saying they don't get any business from the cruise ships, and a lot of people aren't driving up. And when we first started the cruise ships, we had a drop off and hop on bus that did a circuit. And I think it's something that we, the city or tourism, should look at again to encourage people to come uptown. And the second one is the native dancers and singers. When they first started the cruise ships, they were down there, and since the first or second season, they haven't been. It's a unique experience and it's something they don't get at any of the Alaska ports and that, and I think it's something that I think would be something they'd talk about more than just shopping and that.
Yeah.
Just two things that maybe we should take under consideration for talking about in the future.
Thank you. Manager, city manager, you want to say something about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Staff will take note of this and reference the material when the appropriate time comes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else has any question? All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Then we have next one is reports. Report from the fire chief regarding application to the Union of BC Municipalities Next Generation 9/11 program. Recommendation that council support the city's application for 1.9 million in funding from the 2025 UBCM Next Generation 9/11 program to be spent on increased staffing in the support of modernizing its 9/11 PSAP as per federal mandate, and that council confirm overall grant management for UBCM funds if received. So anybody like to move? Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Nish. Discussion. Councillor Edie.
Yeah, I take no issue with applying for funding to support something like this. If I understand it correctly, it's funding something that we are going to be mandated to do anyway. So that's a good thing. But I do have a question about at the bottom of the page there. It says after the grant funds are expended, the city will need to fund this additional staff through other sources. I think the grant funds are intended to cover about 3 years. I'm just wondering if we have any sense of how much then we would be anticipating funding from other sources, and perhaps what those sources might be projected to be.
Mr. City Manager, you would like to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do not have that information. I will ask if Director Bombin has that information. If she doesn't, we will report back to council.
Dr. Bowman. Director.
I also don't have that information, so we will have to report it back to council.
All right. So next is on the Councillor Foster.
Thank you. Mine is similar to Councillor Adie's. It's in the costing. It says the funding is in addition to 3.5 million already allocated, and it will partially fund. So I'm just wondering if there's an additional amount that's going to be being asked for, different from like is 3.5 plus the 1.9 the total amount to do it for the 3 years, or is there another amount that's going to be sought? So I'm just a bit confused. I'm sorry.
Mr. Manager, City Manager, you have any answer?
Mr. Chair, I do not. Again, I will ask if Director Bombin has that information. If she doesn't, we will have a report at the next council meeting.
My understanding is the 3.5 million is for the capital requirements in order to do the upgrades to meet the CRTC standards. The 1.9 million has been applied for by the fire chief, and we'll have to get back to this. It sounds to me from the report to council that it is actually for additional staffing for the transition, and we will get back to you on the further costs for operations.
Thank you. Councillor Nish.
Basically, my questions were the same. I mean, I'm in support of it as of right now because, you know, we've got 3 years to figure it out. And if we're needing to do this to get to the required standards, then, you know, we really can't turn down funding from another agency anyways, or at least it wouldn't be smart to. But yeah, my questions were the same as both Councillor Adie and Councillor Forster as far as, you know, where does the funding come from after this 3 years is up? Is there anything that the government will be looking to top up or help out with would be nice to know.
Thank you. So, Councillor Cunningham.
Okay, 9/11, we have our own 9/11 operators, but there's been times like when I phoned an ambulance one day and I got a dispatcher, I phoned 911 and got a dispatcher at Kamloops. So what's the perimeters of 9/11 sometimes? You hear people complaining about, well, I phoned 911 and they didn't know the address, or, they said McDonald's on 11th and McBride. Well, what's the address? We need an address. And I'm just wondering exactly how 911 works all the time, because sometimes you seem, I always thought all our 911 calls went to our 911 operators in town here, but you hear of other people saying that I called 911 and the operator didn't know where it was and they were in Kamloops or someplace else.
Mr. City Manager, can we get that report when you give us report about the funding? You can get report about the calls too, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and we'll ask the fire chief to attend the session to handle these variety of questions.
Thank you. Any more questions or discussion about this? All in favor? Oppose? Carried. Next item be council round table discussion. Anybody has any inquiries or reports, please? Okay. Councillor AD.
I have a couple of things. First one is perhaps just a request. As the big project unfolds and it impacts obviously members of the community pretty significantly, I'm just hoping that we can get a report to council about how that's going in terms of the progress, the sequence of events, any obstacles that we're facing. And I won't ask specific questions now, but I'm hoping that at perhaps the next meeting we can hear a little more about it. My second item is considerably lighter than that. The King Charles III Coronation Medal has been awarded to a couple of local people, and I think I'd like to acknowledge that. It's awarded to candidates who receive this medal have made a significant contribution to Canada or to a particular province, territory, region, or community of Canada, or they've made an outstanding achievement abroad that brings credit to Canada. And so we have a couple of recipients that I would like to acknowledge. Des Nobles from Dodge Cove, I believe just received his. Long time volunteer. He served 18 years on the regional district for Dodge Cove, representing Dodge Cove. Many years in the fishing industry, and in particular advocating for conservation of the fisheries. And the second person is Joy Sundin, somebody who I've known for about 30 years, since my time at Westview School. She received the award because of her association with the Prince Rupert Métis Society, of which she's been the president for the last 10 years or so. Also 30 years on the Special Events Society, central to many Seafests and Seafest parades and Winterfests and various events of that kind. President of the Prince Rupert Amateur Swim Club. Involvement in the Canadian Parents Who Are French. That's the involvement where I first encountered her. And I'd just like to say that a lot of things happen in the community because of people like Joy and Des working often behind the scenes. And I think it's fantastic that they have been given this recognition.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, you got the first request for the big projects reports for the next meeting.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear the
Like
question.
Councillor AD, he want like make sure community know like about our big projects schedule, like how is everything goes.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we'll have an update.
Okay, thank you. Next, Councillor Nish.
I just wanted to bring up something that I actually wanted to bring up at the last meeting, but it was such a long, crazy meeting, I completely forgot about it. Just recognize that we had 3 teams, local teenagers that all attended the Junior All Native in Kelowna and placed very well. I think 2 of them, I believe, were first place, and 1 was in second, I believe. And also we had the provincials for U18 children also in town here for hockey, and they won the provincials. And also just I spent the week volunteering during the Koi Cup, which was senior men's hockey, and that was a well attended event. Every game that I was at there was lots of people there, well attended, and it was a hit. Although the Rampage maybe didn't come out where we would like to have seen them come out, they played hard, and it was fun hockey to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Councillor Cunningham.
A question for possibly our new Director of Operations. Now that the weather is going to be improving, although not immediately, what's happening with street sweeping?
As Mr. City Manager, you want to say, or you want direct to?
Yes, please defer to the Director of Operations.
Through the chair, we just actually awarded our street sweeping, so we just finished our RFP. It should be starting in the next 2 weeks.
When you say you awarded it, you're contracting it out?
So we contracted out as well as operate our street sweeper just to get the town finished in a timely manner.
So our street sweeper will be working?
Correct.
Okay. And I've been told that there's vacant positions that haven't been filled in the yard. Can you fill me in on those postings and what's going on with them?
Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's an appropriate open agenda discussion. But if there are some specific questions, I'm happy to take them later.
Okay. Anybody else has any updates or inquiries? Mr. Mayor, you have updates?
Yeah, 2 things. One is I attended the Saturday matinee of Shrek the Musical, and it was absolutely fantastic. And a number of city employees had significant roles in that. I wish I could recommend to people to go see it next week. You can't. It's done. It's over. But it was absolutely fantastic. Trigon had paid for admission for any child, I believe, under 11. It was 11, just in that range anyway. And the place was full. It was full, and so it was great. You could see kids there that obviously their first musical ever. They were peering over the orchestra pit just to see what went on there. It was just a great performance. So congratulations to everybody. The second thing is that I'm currently sitting in Victoria. People will recall, of course, that for 14 years, almost, the communities of the Northwest pushed for the Resource Benefit Alliance, what we call the RBA. When that finally came to fruition about this time last year, Rupert's share of that over 5 years is about $34 million. It's about $6.8 million a year over 5 years. But it's a partnership. It's a partnership between the province and the communities of the Northwest. And so myself and the 2 other co-chairs of the RBA are in Victoria at the invitation of the finance minister to meet with her, but also have meetings with a number of other ministers and the premier. And one of the things we want to talk about in this partnership is province is going through some challenging times now. Are there any ways that the communities of the Northwest and the RBA communities can help. And so that's the purpose of this journey. That's why I'm here in Victoria.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Anybody else has any inquiries or questions? Nobody? Okay. I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting and move to closed meeting. Moved by Councillor Cunningham, second by Councillor Leash. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned. So please stay, they can stay there, right? Like couple minutes. Staff can